Mervi, are you here now in San Francisco? Or?
Yes, yes. It's Friday evening.
They're still admitting them in the waiting room. Okay, I will start with some logistic arrangement in Chinese. Actually, it's Cantonese because 係各位參與嘅同工早晨啊，係好歡迎大家咧，今朝咁早咧就會咧喺星期六嘅早上咧係加入我哋呢個Smarter Education Summit 嗱，咁呢個係由呢個大教育平台啦，同埋呢個香港電視研究所一齊主辦嘅，希望咧喺跟住大半年嘅大家咧喺個疫情之下咧個教育啊，同埋咧為呢個年青嘅成長咧總結一啲經驗嘅。今日呢次我哋會好特別咧，因為我哋咧會除咗本地嘅同工嚟咧，都會請到啲外地咧去做一啲青少年支援嘅一啲科技嘅公司咧去分享嘅。咁我咧開始之前咧，我會講咗少少個安排先。嗱，大家如果有啲老師啊，如果想咧係申請翻嗰個即係聽講證書啊，去 PDR 咧，咁我哋一陣間咧就會喺個 chat room 裏邊咧俾大家咧有一張 form link 嘅，大家可以上去咧打低你學校名啦，你自己姓名咧，我哋就會發翻嗰個attendance certificate 俾大家噶啦。咁如果大家咧一路聽有問題咧，亦都可以喺個 chat room 裏邊提出嚟，我哋會整理咗咧交俾我哋講者嘅。今日咧我哋咧我先介紹咧就係今日個節目主持人咧就嚟自呢個MWYO Domain Wide Youth Office 嘅 Ambrose， 呢係主持嚟嘅。咁仲有咧，今日出席裏邊咧有梁錦波校長啦，Dr. Leung 咧係退休嘅培敦校長啦，佢亦都好有心咧繼續咧喺做好多學校嘅德育啊全人發展嘅支援嘅，係啦。咁另外我哋咧請到一位咧嚟自一啲國際嘅一啲咧做一啲咧青少年咧個social emotional 嘅 development 嘅一啲軟件嘅一啲 Apps 嘅發展公司，咁佢哋咧喺唔同地方裏邊咧都有推個
可唔可以攞支豉油？
主持咧啲經驗嗱，所以咧咁我而家咧唔阻大家時間啦，我將時間咧交俾阿 Ambrose。
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yeah. Hi, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you. Waking up early in the morning to just listen out to this panel. I'm very grateful for your participation. Today, our topic is on the smarter whole person development, the student support and social and emotional learning and moral education. And we have an excited panel of guests today. And may I now introduce Dr. Sherman Leung, who is a retired principal, the founding chairman of the Association for Holistic Education. And we have the second guest today, Mervi. Mervi is from Finland. She is my friend. And she is actually the founder and CEO of MySapphire, a Finland-based social emotional learning education technology tool. And I guess she would love to cover more of her experience all around the world in using such kind of tool in Hong Kong. And for myself, I'm an education policy researcher working in MWYO, a youth-oriented think tank. So I plan a lot of different researches on education, especially on holistic education. So I'm very happy to meet you all. So to start off everything, I guess it would be good to let Dr. Leung and Mervi to share about their experiences. I guess that the topic is a bit long, so I would choose a focus here today, which is how are we making it smarter in the sense that to bring in more agility and whole person development. We can do it through technology, or we can through better targeted or more flexible programs. So we're focusing on the impact and solutions brought by the COVID-19 in 2020. So I guess I'll pass the time now to Dr. Leung first So let him share the new normal of education and its impact. Dr. Leung, please.
Thank you, Ambrose. Yes, it's my really privilege to be here this morning. So let me see. Let me turn on the, yes.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yes, the screen, yes, sorry, yes, sorry, it's the PowerPoint, yes. Yes, good morning, yes. So this morning, I will use 5 minutes to share the new normal of education and its impact. So what is the new normal? A study from 17,000 university students in 41 EU countries in May 2020 lockdown. And they investigate the mode of teaching in the new normal. So online with the lecturer lecturing in real time. We have also the lecturer sending their presentation to students through email or others. The third type is online with a video recording of the lecturers lecturing. And the fourth type, online with audio recording. And the fifth type is known online lecture. You can see that 74% students experience that sort of online lecturing in real time. And in terms of time composition, the first one also composed of about 60%. And it is the most preferred mode that students reflect. And I'm also working in university, and at
Dr. Leung, we don't hear you now.
Oh no.
Yes, we just hear you, but yeah, the screen is still here. So so may I know, are there HKPRI colleagues or the colleagues from the summit to try to fix the technical problems here? And I'm sorry for all the delay here. I guess this always happens in lessons and in schools as well. So this is like inevitable. Maybe I can talk to Mervi first for a while. So Mervi is actually from Finland, but she is now in San Francisco. And she has a lot of experience in Multiplier. And maybe you can share a bit about your app and how is it used, and so we can fill up the time here and like let people know about more of your experiences.
I guess this is the new normal.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like
Yeah, this is the new normal. Yeah, exactly. So basically we have users right now in 30 countries, so we get to hear a lot of experiences, also how the COVID-19 has impacted, and basically what I'm also covering in my presentation, so I'm already speaking a little bit about that, is that the first problem was to find the suitable platform, and that was the first thing teachers were struggling. But the second one was then to start thinking that how the children are doing. So SEL sort of raised as the second question, how are my students coping? Because teachers often didn't have this sort of camera connection with their students immediately. So, and they were wondering, especially on the most vulnerable students, that how are these kids doing? So there was a big worry on those students, especially.
Yeah, so you talked about like how the students are really doing, and I'm curious, is there a pattern in the geographical areas, like in Northern America, maybe that students are more stressful, or in East Asian countries, or some countries are doing well, maybe in Finland, because I know there some schools still are going on and still resume class, and yeah, so I'm really interested in that.
So there are different models going on in Finland, for instance. So it's a small country, of course. So small countries. So that there was a decision that now everybody is on remote, and now everybody gets back. But then there have been these hybrid models, and then of course decisions that schools and teachers can decide on their own, which is much more flexible, of course, and sort of more friendlier towards the learners and teachers. And in the US, we've seen even these models right now in San Francisco, where I am based, that students are coming back to school, but teachers are not. So teachers will teach from home, and students are going back to school, and they will sit with their they will have their laptop, and they will follow the teacher's instructions in school, but teacher will be at home. And they will actually, I just saw this recruitment ad that they are recruiting new people to monitor the students at school. So
excuse me, Mervi. I think Dr. Leung has already rejoined.
Come back. Yeah, sorry, I'm so sorry.
No
sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Mervi. Yeah, for your sharing. So for digital divide, I have to rush then. One of the main problems in Hong Kong is that we have the digital divide because we have a great discrepancy in the family support or something. So we find that 60% of students find their online learning experience difficult because of the lack of a learning atmosphere and difficulty concentrating at home. So this is a main concern because, if we do not have a very good infrastructure of equipment, then the e-learning is not effective enough. So I will go over to the how has COVID-19 impacted youth mental health. In 2020 September, we have a local newspapers survey, and about 67% felt lost about the future, and more than 70% showing signs of moderate to severe depression. For youth, especially in the school age youth, they have reported symptoms of PTSD, 46%, or depression, 50%, which is quite a large proportion. The contributing factors to stress may be due to limited individualized academic and social support out of the online instruction. Also, the full day classes have been changed to half days, which affected students' daily routine, like eating, sleeping, exercise, etc. So no outdoor time, no social interaction, no mental and emotional support. And they have additional family conflicts when caregivers and children are all crowded at home. In Hong Kong, we have very small houses. And the extra public examination stress due to less schooling, testing, delays, etc., and making students felt underprepared in general. Uncertain economy caused a limited job market for graduates. And the other reason is parents and adults are losing jobs, causing financial crisis in family. So I went into some schools and summarize what they have done to cope with this student stress. First of all, they will strengthen the resilience of students through life education program. So first of all, teachers keep touch with them. They give them the breakaway skills to raise their adaptation to changes, positive education and mindfulness training, and some ventilation techniques. And secondly, well, they establish positive habits and lifestyle at home. So teachers will go to demonstrate how to cook, give students to cultivate their me time, do exercising at home, doing some painting and relaxation, things like that. And then the third one, to cultivating a grateful heart to pandemic fighters. So they prepare some cards, some gifts to send to the medical or some the cleaners on streets or something. And the fourth one, to encourage students to support each others. Well, even though, well, they can meet very rarely, so they will maximize the support among peers. And the fifth one is to radiate love and concern to people around, so they can sense that sort of connection, even though they all wear masks or something. And the last one, because of the financial crisis, some sponsoring school sponsoring bodies, they render assistance to needy families to give them money, resources, and IT equipment, etc. So this is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Leung, and for the sorry for the rush, but it's a really detailed presentation. And Dr. Leung touched on 2 points that I guess Mervi could supplement on, especially on how to create the positive life habits at home, as well as to encourage peer support. And I know MySapphire has different kind of functions, especially used to nurture students' social and emotional development, and which encourages peers to comment on each other and teachers to really monitor how kids are doing. So let me pass the time to Mervi now, and so she can quickly go through her experience in different countries, as well as the uses of the app, and see if any teachers here or principals here are interested in using it. So I'll pass the time to Mervi. Mervi, please.
Thank you so much. I'll share my screen. All right. Just a second. Share. All right. Thank you for this opportunity. So I'm going to go through some different approaches from our experience by our MySapphire users, so SEL from around the world. Our starting point is really that every child wants to be appreciated as they are by their peers because it makes them feel safe. And when they feel safe and supported, this sort of psychological safety lights the intrinsic motivation to learn. So they learn better. And that's the whole point here, what we're doing. So MySapphire flipped SEL, how we call it, supports seamlessly online the educators and learners both in class and in remote situation by our SEL lesson plans and through the character strength profiles that are built through these positive peer strength messages, as Ambrose already mentioned, and our well-being tracking tools. And these strength messages have been extremely important, especially during the time of COVID when children have been remotely and they have been missing their friends. So this sense of belonging has been strengthening through these messages enormously. So let's go to the important stuff right now. And first, let's go to Chile, to the city or town of Antofagasta. It's an old mining town. And we're going to this school, which is over 30 years old, has been in lockdown since spring. And so lately they have decided that they really need to step up with their educational offering, and they decided to bring in a lot of Finnish educational technology. Imagine that. And together MySapphire as well. And they wanted to really take a very data-driven approach to their SEL. So what they are doing now is that they are using our well-being pulse, and they are checking all different age levels to go through and see that what are the age-specific challenges, so that they can really address those first. They're seeing that if there are challenges with emotions, emotion management or relationship skills, or challenges with bullying or safety with different age groups, and then they are addressing those and starting with that. So kudos to them. Then another very different kind of school in Chile that has just recently opened, St. Hendrik School, 100% online. So they don't have any walls, only running in online. And their starting point is that they have SEL in their curriculum. So every week on Fridays, they have an SEL lesson plan for all their children. And we are happy to be providing that SEL lesson plan for them. And of course, the challenge is that since all the children are remote, they are never in the same place. How to create this sense of belonging for these children, and how do they ever get to really understand and know what kind of the other person is, and how to create that bond. But they have been doing wonderfully so far this fall. Then let's next jump to UK and Wales. So this is St. Joseph School in Wales. They have been also remote since spring, but in the summer they came back for a couple of weeks. And what the teachers wanted to really use Mightyfire was to check on students' motivation and how they are seeing their school studying at that point. So teachers used Mightyfire to really adjust and plan their lesson plans at the time. So they were using the well-being pulse and adjusting all the way those weeks that they had the kids in class, and they were using Mightyfire for that. So very different approach. And then finally, let's jump to Taiwan, to Cornell Academy, which has been using Mightyfire for increasing inclusivity. So they have special needs children in their regular classes, and they have wanted to ensure that everybody would feel appreciated in that school. So it really caught our eye because they were one of our most frequent users of those strength feedback rounds. And it has really worked. So children in that school really don't see them and us. They make no difference in those sort of things. They feel that everybody is different and that's okay. So, and that's a wonderful thing. So we can celebrate that. And they still are one of the biggest frequent users of those strength feedback rounds. And then finally, let's jump to Finland, the happiest country in the world, 3rd year running right now. Of course, in March, the country went to lockdown. And we spend most of our time in the phone talking to our teachers, hearing their worries, their challenges, even listening to them crying, because it was a challenging time to all of us. And the first question was really to find the right platform. And the right platform wasn't the same on parents' minds as it was on teachers' minds, as you can imagine. But in Finland, the teacher's word is the final word. So that discussion was over pretty fast. The biggest question was really how to find the most vulnerable ones, as I already mentioned, but then we came to the big question, how to manage your own time and teacher SEL. So we soon realized that that is and needs to be a big priority, and that needs to be put on the agenda pretty fast because teachers were carrying a huge stress at that point. And the highlights, so there were several. Last spring and summer and going to this fall. Teachers soon realized that now is the time, if ever, to focus on well-being and how we are coping. So we came back for 2 weeks, but we didn't came back in the end of spring to focus on tests. We came back to see how everybody is doing. And teachers wanted to see eye to eye to all the children and see that they are doing well. Sense of togetherness for teachers. They realize that they can just shout out for help and a colleague will come for help at that point. And that was also important when we realized that SEL for teachers is needed. They are the role models for children. So they need to be doing well themselves. And then finally, persistence. We have a Finnish word for that, sisu. And it means so much more than persistent. It also means passion and doing things together. And there's a valuable lesson that we can teach to children as well. How to manage your emotions in a time of crisis as well. How to make positive decisions. How to set positive small goals in this time of crisis so that we can all get together and push through in this kind of situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mervi. And I guess Mervi shared some really fascinating examples from Chile, Taiwan, a place like us, Hong Kong, and Finland, of course. And she touched on the point about social and emotional learning, which is somewhere that I am focusing on as well. So our approach and my think tank's approach towards education is about a holistic education. And social and emotional learning is definitely a part of what we call a whole person development, hence the title today, the topic of the panel today. And I don't have much to share, to be honest, but I guess I could share about what we exactly have done recently on whole person development. So please give me some time. Yes, I have a few slides here. So this is basically our philosophy in whole person development. In 2019, we published a whole person development framework which outlines the skills and competencies and values that a secondary student should possess. And we validated it with different scholars, principals, teachers in Hong Kong. And based on the framework, we did two things. We first consolidated different kind of practices in Hong Kong, and we found that there are really different interesting examples from all around the schools, from different academic banding, from different religious background, different aid types, etc. And we found really good ways, but we need a way to really strategize and find out how to scale up impact. So we initiated an incubator funding scheme called a Whole Person Development Incubator Scheme. And what we did is to invite schools, NGOs, or different kind of business partners to try to implement and co-create ideas with us. So if you're interested in case, you can click scan the QR code down there, and there will be much more information on our incubator. So to briefly showcase our framework, this is our framework, and the blue circles, the blue bubbles are the competencies that we propose that fit Hong Kong's context, that fit Hong Kong students from their relationship with themselves, health and wellness, life skills, to the relationship with friends, with their community, the relationship literacy. How should one manage relationship with friends or teachers or families? Is exactly different things, and how they're gonna do that. Well, equipping them with such skill would help them to strive for the challenges in the future. And of course, at last, it's about the relationship with the society and the world. So we have civic literacy and global awareness. At the heart of everything, we believe values are really important, like humility, compassion, empathy, and so on. And I guess this echoes with what Dr. Leung and Mervi has said about, especially in times like COVID. We need to bring the sense of togetherness among students, and not only among students, but also teachers as well. All we are here to discussing today on a Saturday morning. So yeah, this is what we have done in the past 2 years, and COVID can't change what we are trying to roll out in the new semester in schools. So this is one of our interesting projects in Hong Kong and 4 schools, and we rolled out in 3 schools already. And it is actually held by the Hong Kong Animal Therapists Association. So these dogs are not purely dogs, but they are animal therapists. And the schools sees the needs that students have the mental wellness needs. They are kind of stressed. They don't have the social cohesion in Hong Kong, and they don't really have social time in school. So what we did is to spare a week in each school and for an hour on a day in Hong Kong. So they're gonna learn through the animal therapist life experience there and try to relate to their lives. And we also have a mindfulness project carried out at St. James Settlement in a Tranquil school. So this school is kind of interesting. They see a specific need for Form 6 student who is going to go for public exams 3 months later, which is a quite stressful one for Mervi's information. And they see the need that students have to have some kind of mindfulness trainings. So we kickstarted this in October this year, and trying to help them with the study life balance and the ways to meditate, to find a balance in life. So the last, another project that we kickstarted is from Impact Hong Kong. So it is a volunteering organization. So people who live on streets would volunteer and go to schools to promote the kindness culture. And what they're doing here on the left-hand side of the screen is actually they're doing some kind of called kindness mat. So these are done from, made from some kind of reused plastic bags, and these could be the blankets of those homeless peoples in Hong Kong. So we find this really interesting and meaningful. So we don't have really, the takeaways here is that there are a lot of different ways that we could still push for whole person development, especially on social and emotional learning during COVID. And we do not have the complete ways or the all-round guide on how we are going to go through this kind of crisis, but we definitely welcome ideas that are innovative, which is available to achieve historical typical outcomes. It's school-based but agile in the sense that it's capable of online or face-to-face learning. It targets not only students, but also it could be targeting teachers or parents, and it should be holistic in nature, of course, that fits in the framework. So if any of you are interested in submitting an idea or interested in any of the programs we are rolling out in schools today, so please feel free to contact us on our website and through emails. Yeah, so thank you very much. And this is the end of the presentation. So I guess it's a good time for us to talk together and discuss way forward at the end of 2020 on how to push forward whole person development in such a coronavirus time. I guess there's a dilemma for everyone because lesson time is shortened, and we still have to deal with tests. There isn't much connection between students or among teachers. So I would like to ask Mervi and Dr. Leung on your comments, like how are the good ways to bring in the togetherness among students, and would that sacrifice or compromise the so-called academic or test needs in your opinion? Maybe a Dr. Leung first.
Oh, thank you, Ambrose. Actually, many principals and teachers at school realize that, well, students should be better prepared before they can move on with the academic development. So I'm happy to see that many schools actually has made like the second opening ceremony in May because of the school resumption. So they have that sort of taking new class photos and sharing with each other the times when they were in the lockdown, and also they established e-platform for students to connect with each other. And because of the technology, we find that the new generation is quite familiar with the online sharing. And as long as teachers, they give them a very a project or maybe to do something together, like to to give concern to people around or to send gifts to teachers. And we went into a school, and then we mobilized a group of students. They prepare all sort of anti-pandemic packages with alcohol things, and with a cart, a caring cart, and then they send out to every student in the school, something like this. So they do something together, and that is the point that they will sense that sort of togetherness.
I see a really good point here, and that schools is not only a physical space for students, but the heart of their lives. And even if students are at home, they could have received some kind of alcohol swabs in packages. And I guess it really brings in some kind of connection in such trying times. And I also like to learn from experience from Mervi as well. You mentioned about Taiwan, and Taiwan is pretty similar as Hong Kong in the sense that it's also an East Asian region, and it has many Asian students, and they might have some kind of stress as well. So do you have some kind of observations there? Like, do they face such problems in their studies? And yeah, just feel free to share your comments.
Yes, so what we have observed is that they are really frequent users. We have been wondering that do they actually do anything else but do use Mightyfire in their lessons, because they really frequently use the strength feedback. They obviously want to be sending several times a week these small messages, and I understand because it doesn't take too much time. So it's just daily a couple of minutes, but it gives you immediately the wonderful feeling of somebody is thinking about me in a nice way. And so just a quick little note, and there you have it. So quick way to remember. But one thing I would like to highlight, as Dr. Leung also mentioned, the family conflict, and this is something that there are two sides to it. So we have seen in Latin America, there's a big discussion in basically every country that we have gone, that domestic violence is a big topic, and still all those schools will be remote until next summer. And teachers are very, very worried how to reach out to children. And this is, curiously enough, also a problem that we have seen in Finland. So it wasn't something that we were expecting, but now we're seeing it on the headlines as well. So it is something that also needs to be addressed. So we have already now prepared a package that teachers can be, with that package, reach out to homes, so that would be sort of a first package for sort of, in a way, of homework first, for children to start talking about their feelings to the parents, and it would be those first steps to start talking about these, not the violence itself, but to be starting the discussion to begin with, and also for children to reach out to teachers if there is something going on. So obviously first steps to begin with, but this is obviously something that we are facing in this kind of situation that the world is under right now. So parents in good and bad.
Yeah, it's actually a good point. And I guess Mervi is really very, she is really a value-driven person, as in she really feels that the power of dialogues in take place in families and schools. So I want to follow up with a question, is that how do you feel the power of such kind of dialogues and compliments and families are that's useful, as in the family background and or maybe family situations might be very different in families. So do you think the dialogue itself could really bring in very positive impact in their families?
clearly this is something that we need to start with small steps, and this is something that the approach needs to be tailored in every country with the help of local university maybe, and really carefully thought out. So we can't expect, for instance, to take a Finnish approach and land it anywhere else. So it has to be clearly well thought out everywhere. So we are right now piloting a Finnish version, and it has been given a very nice appraisal from the local teachers. So that's something that we are starting in Finland, and there is a big need in Latin America. So we are discussing there with local universities. They are eager to get their hands and start discussing tailoring. So that's something that has been on the table, but clearly there is a lot of discussion going on.
Definitely, yeah, context matters. I agree
Yes.
that most. I guess Dr. Leung could provide us with some context here. And I know you have a lot of experience on life education. And you also talked about the point of family struggles and conflicts. So how do you see the ways to really go through such conflicts in Hong Kong? Is it through technology, or there are like other ways or resources that teachers could seek out to help out students in with family conflicts?
Yes, thank you, Ambrose. As well, Mervi has just mentioned, the societal culture or the context really matter. We Chinese parents are very hesitant to praise our or give compliments to our next generation in order not to spoil them, something like this. Well, however, I discovered that because of the loneliness that we recently felt, and then people are moving out in parallel with the technology. That is a useful way to convey or to transfer information, but we still need that sort of human touch, and that is why, like when school resumes, well, students feel very happy, and we can realize that recently when the primary students, they can come back to school, they feel very excited. And because of that, we are trying to make technology together with the human touch. So a lot of life education program, they emphasize that sort of appreciation of love, how to send out your message in a more affectionate way, things like that. That will enhance the content of sentiment to people around. And I'm very happy that schools are trying their best to do more in this aspect.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree more with you, and that's why I am so much opposed of all the anonymous social media messages, and that's why in Mighty Fire we want that children appear with their own names, so that when you get the message, you know who it's from, and you can really feel the love from that person. And as a person that I have sent the message to you, I feel good because I know that I have made you happy. So that's also a valuable lesson both ways. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess both of you point out that it's not only about technology, but all about the human touch that we are trying to convey. Technology is the kind of tool that might bring people together. And yeah, I talked to a lot of different principals in Hong Kong as well. And they also realize this kind of togetherness has to be solved, the sense of togetherness. And they try to spare time despite with the tight schedule, as students only go to school half day. And now we have the fourth wave here in Hong Kong, and we're all studying, working from home. So this remains to be solved. And I guess we had a really interesting discussion here today on what we could try out through technology or through different kind of policies, measures that, or some kind of programs that are introduced in school. So I guess every of our participants would be happy about learning some kind of new ideas, or some that are already existing in their schools. So my suggestion would be, if you are interested in any of our programs or technologies, or any kind of comments that we have made just now, so just please feel free to contact us, and I guess Mervi and Dr. Leung and I are more than willing to help. So
excuse me, Ambrose. Since I found that many audience are interested in how to use technology to promote the social and emotional well-being of our students, and they are interested in Mightyfire. So I suggest we can contact them, and we can arrange another presentation mainly focused on how to use the app to help the students.
Absolutely.
I promise we can arrange this for the audience. Okay.
Thank you.
And I suggest would Dr. Leung and Mervi and use 1 minute and run up for this section to highlight actually what you expect we can help our students with technology.
So right now.
Yeah, because actually it is a very good time for us.
Excellent. Yes.
But actually the time runs short, so therefore we should end up at this section within 2 minutes. So therefore I suggest may you give me a short run up for this section.
Yes, I can give a short summary so how the tool works. So it is a web-based application, works online, so you don't need to download anything on any device. It works on tablets, computers, mobiles, so any device is all right. And you can sign up on our website, mightyfire.com. And when you write there, we will open you an account immediately within 24 hours. So that's pretty simple. And then we can organize a demo for you that will take online demo about 1 hour. And in 1 hour, your teachers in your school will be masters in using Mightyfire. It is very simple to use. So what the tool consists of are, as I said, those SEL lesson plans. And we have already designed them so that you can use SEL lesson plans for in-class situations or remote teaching situations. So you have same lesson plan already for both teaching situations. We have thought that for you. So that is solved. And those lesson plans have to do with, let's say, emotions or character strengths, different SEL areas. And if you want to do a small trial, we will send you different examples of different kind of lesson plans throughout the trial period already. Then the second feature, and then those lesson plans are so that if you are teaching remotely, you can use whatever platform you have. If you are using Google or Microsoft Teams or whatever you are using, it can be taught via that platform. Then the character strength profile feature is actually something that you do via the Mightyfire application. So teacher gives students their passcodes. Students log in the Mightyfire application. And what they do is that they are assigned randomly to each other. And they actually get to recognize these character strengths in each other. And they give each other positive feedback based on those character strengths. And teachers get to assign sort of little tasks so that students give each other that positive feedback based on teachers' tasks. And the task could be subject matter related. So if you have a math lesson or biology or history, whatever, it could be task related. Or just how has this person done well in that week, whatever. You can use it as you wish. And then those little messages, we encourage them to be very detailed, because then they give much more information to the recipient. And then the message always comes to the teacher first. So if there is any kind of joke or anything, the teacher can actually send it back to the writer if there is anything that should be inappropriate. And then finally, the third section is the well-being tracking tools. So that's a short questionnaire relating to well-being and SEL. Teacher just activates the well-being pulse, and it's a short questionnaire, takes about 30 seconds for children to fill it. And teacher immediately sees this dashboard, how the class is doing on the teacher's profile. It's 10 questions, very useful information. School leadership sees the whole school dashboard. If you have a city, the city will see every school that is part of it, the whole dashboard. You can also take, let's say, fourth graders separately, or however you want to play it. So good data to base your future plan, SEL plan on in the future. Yeah. And for the students, once they send these positive messages to each other, they can actually follow their character development through their own statistics. So they can see how my, let's say, kindness has developed over the years based on my friends' comments. And they can also do self-evaluation every now and then. So how I think myself that my kindness or my bravery or my team working skills have developed over time.
Thanks a lot, Mervi. We have a very good time this morning, but since we have another section going to start, thank you very much, Mervi. Thank you, Ambrose. Thank you, Dr. Leung.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah, nice to learn from you, Mervi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Leung.